This is my cheap hoopty. My daily driver performance car is a 2018 Volkswagen Golf R. And it's currently in winter mode right now because I live out in the country and there's dirt roads. But these are my winters, which are actually all-weather tires. They're Nokian WRG4, and I've made a video about those previously. They're excellent tires. Absolutely love those. It's mid-May right now. It's 24 degrees Celsius. They're winter rated, but you don't have to take them off when it gets warm. So I can run them late into spring and summer. I don't have to worry about them wearing out early. And then I can put my nice summers on when we're ready. That's going to be today's project, is put on the 19-inch Pretorias. Which are right there. These are my gunmetal Pretorias with Continental tires. These are the wheels and tires that came on my 2018 Golf R, and they're still in excellent condition because my Golf R only has 29,000 kilometers on it. Something interesting about my summers, these are the Conti Sport contacts, and they have traditional wear bars, but then I noticed that they also have wet running wear bars. So there's an indicator on the outside or the inside for wet running, and those are your wet. So if you get down to that wear point, you only want to run these in the dry. And then once you get them to that wear point, then they're throwaway. So these are my stock summers, 235/35 R19 on the Pretoria gunmetal 19-inch Conti Sport Contact 5P. Since I haven't shown you very much about Volkswagens on this channel yet, I just want to show some basic Volkswagen things. On almost all Volkswagens you get a tool like this, and that is for pulling off the bolt caps. And these are just kind of styling things. Also a little bit of anti-theft because idiots think that it's a real Torx bolt and try and use it. It's just a plastic cover. There you go. Also on a Golf, a lot of them, the more base models, have a spare tire, and that's under here. And usually the spare tire, if you have a wheel lock, it'll be kind of tucked in there with your spare tire assembly. This car does not have a spare tire. Instead, it comes with the pump, the air pump and goo. So your tire security lock is right here, as well as that little tool that I showed you is right here. It's in a little tool pack that sits in this back quarter panel area here. Gonna get yourself into position and just have it barely touching it, and then you can start loosening off some of the bolts before you actually lift it all the way up. Just in case you've never seen security wheel locks before, that's where you need this thing for. I do not like these. I don't think they really help at all, and they're prone to stripping out early, which this one has already started to strip out after 2 years of use. You have to be very careful about doing it. So you just want to get it on there, make sure it's engaged well, put a lot of pressure on it while you loosen it off or tighten it on. When I change my own tires, I don't use any power tools. I just use like a 1/4-inch breaker bar, 1/4-inch drive, I think, or 3/4 drive. I don't know what it is, but it works. Anyway, pressure on your lock, and then just try and get it to loosen a little bit before you jack, just like that. And then the same for all the other bolts in a cross pattern. Just loosen them off a crack before you lift. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That was 10 pumps, and we're significantly higher off the ground than I normally go. I sit on a mat and I just throw my bolts down on the mat while I'm doing it, so it keeps everything off the dirt. That's mostly because I work on a dirt driveway, so it's just not as nice working on a dirt driveway, but use what you got. I've pretty much done this job on everywhere I've lived since I've had cars. I usually always buy my winters mounted, and my summers are on nicer performance wheels and tires, so that you can just do a full wheel swap winter to summer. And here are the Nokian WRG4 all-weather rated tires. This one kind of wicks moisture away. This one is more traditional tread. They both have siping for winter use, but it's the rubber compound that's special with these, where even when it gets warm out, they do not wear out. So these have a lot more running on them than my summers, and they're significantly higher tread just because of their special compound where they just wear a long time. They have a very high tread wear rating, and yeah, they're Nokian WRG4s. Highly recommend them. If you want a tire where you can run them all year round in winter conditions, this is a great option. Then when I get the tires off, I just do a bit of an inspection, just make sure everything looks okay, and I do put some like anti-rust stuff on everything. Just the spray that I use, my Rust Cure 3000, just kind of spray in all the componentry, not on the brake discs. You always want to keep those clean, but sometimes I'll put some around the hub and around this assembly where the tire sits, and then mostly in the control arms and bushings and stuff in here. I kind of lubricate all that while it's open, and then we put the summers on. In the USA, you may only be able to get something like Rust Check or Crown, but in Canada, I really prefer this stuff. Corrosion-free Rust Cure Formula 3000. It's a gel and a water displacement and a rust cure preventative. So it's been tested by our military and proven to be the most effective rust preventative chemical that they can use. Going and getting your car professionally crowned every year is technically a more thorough coating, but this stuff in general performs better. You can get it applied to Canadian Tire, but they may not have the most skilled people doing it, so I just do it myself with these cans when they go on sale. Because the front control arms and links and everything are just steel, they are prone to rusting out, so I just kind of coat them with this stuff. Now, something in the future I want to get for this car is the hub spacers, which will make the tires a little bit more flush. I need to do some research on that, figure out what sizing I want. I know the front, you want a little bit less offset than the rear, but I'd really like to bring the rears out because they kind of tuck under the fender a bit too much for Volkswagen's top-of-the-line Golf. This is an all-wheel drive car that has almost 400 horsepower now with the tunes I've done to it. Comes stock with 292, but with the EQT Stage 1 tune that I've done and a bunch of other modifications, and these are mild modifications, and it's all-wheel drive, it's a little rocket ship. It's light, so it has the same kind of 0 to 60 performance as something like an Audi RS6. It's impressive. My best time so far is 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds. Then I just hand tighten them until we get some resistance. And depending on how you torque them down, some may take a lot more than others. So you just want to give them some all the way around, and then lower it down and torque them. That's all there is to it. Then after the car's on the ground, I always like to use a torque wrench, a real torque wrench that I have set at around 190 to 100 foot-pounds. And you just want to torque down your wheel nuts while the car's on the ground. And again, I always do the wheel lock one last. You want to make sure it's on there before you always press on the wheel lock. Okay, throw your center cap on. Put the wheel covers back on, wheel nut covers. That's a Volkswagen thing. The wheel lock one looks different versus all the other ones are like that. The wheel lock one is not different. All right, at this point we're done. All the summer wheels are on. Wheels are torqued, all the, the dressing bits are on, the wheel nut covers and stuff. I still need to check the air pressure, so I use a compressor and I pump them up to the recommended air pressures, which they do print on the side of the door here. So if you're looking for air pressures, they recommend 39 psi front and rear on this vehicle. And then reset your pressure computer, your tire pressure computer. Volkswagens do not use TPMS sensors, which is nice. You don't have to buy those expensive TPMS sensors in each wheel. It only calculates it based on rotation, so it knows that based on the size of the wheel that it should be. And then you set it, it knows that if it goes bigger or smaller, it knows that the pressures are off, which is a better system in my opinion. May not be quite as accurate, but it's better, less hassle. And yeah, I just got to clean up my tools and stuff, and we're ready to go. I mentioned that I in the future want to get wheel spacers. That's mostly because they sit in a little bit. The GoPro may not be showing it exactly, but I would like it if they were out maybe 10 millimeters more. They'd be hella flush, as they say, and it would just look way better. So yeah, that's the plan. As the next styling upgrade for the Golf R will be wheel spacers, just to poke those out a bit. It'll just fill out the wheel wells a little bit more poke in the rear. There's no poke actually, I just want it flush in the rear and flush in the front. So I'll look into getting some of those. If you know good options for that for a Volkswagen Mark 7, let me know. Because I hadn't talked about the Golf R on this channel yet, I just wanted to go over a little bit about how I do my seasonal wheel changes. Summer wheels are on, testing out this new jack, the Motomaster low profile, high lift. I liked it. The only thing I don't like is it doesn't have the safety locks. More Golf R content coming, more Honda Pilot content coming. My wife has a Volkswagen Tiguan as well that just got detailed, looks great. She won a detailing package. I have ceramic coated this. I've also put that on my other channel, ceramic coating the Tiguan. I like doing detailing stuff as well, so as we get into the summer, I'll do a little bit more detailing videos. My car has been ceramic coated 3 times with a bead maker on top, and then I will just continually adding bead maker onto it to service it over the summer and to bring it up to gloss level that I really like. All right guys, thanks for watching.